what cautions or trainings should they be provided to students that are using AI and enable like the accommodations?
Yeah, so it's a really important question. I think students and educators having a good understanding of what we mean by AI is really important. And I think almost like my opening gambit is you almost want to teach people to treat AI like they're a classmate, and maybe not the top of class either. But, they're not an infallible entity. And I think we're sort of used to this already because, as I said before, this whole AI thing isn't brand new. We've got captioning, or we've got those kind of technologies, and with these kind of quote unquote older AI, the automatic transcripts or captions they might be wrong, and that's kind of known and understood and prefaced for a student. I think the challenge with the AGI, the general intelligence that's kind of come out now, is it's much harder to discern the error from the AI or be cognizant or aware of it. And so it's important that we teach explicitly that to students and to learners, because it's not going to be necessarily obvious by the outputs themselves. And there's also an additional angle here, which is around helping students understand different tools and their different scopes of reach or the context. So grouping everything under this term AI and trying to treat it all the same is a little bit of a risk, I would say. The risk with an AI tool depends on how it's trained, what the constraints are put around it by the manufacturers or the institution themselves. So, as an example, you can have AI which has entirely generative access to the whole of the internet, and will just, you ask it a question, it will go away, find some sources, who knows what, and spit out some answers. That's really a kind of different risk profile to one that only has access to the lecture content and generates answers from that with guardrails, which is essentially what QuizMe is. And so we need to just be careful that we don't mar everything with the same brush. And we need to have those ethics and those principles in place as an institution, and then be able to educate students on the nuance within the different tools as well. Um, so yeah, I would encourage institutions to determine those principles and really understand the different tools they have and how those tools are operating or they're considering having. And then just the last point on this, with the students themselves, we absolutely need to educate them on everything I've just said, um, the fallibility of AI. But I think a lot of the things we want to teach them about the use of AI overlaps with lots of skills that we're wanting to instill, or hopefully already instilling in students as we meet with them and as we teach them. Creative thinking, critical thinking, refinement of communication, collaboration, checking sources of information and not relying on single sources of information. These rules all apply with how we interact with the AI tools at our disposal. And if anything, with the right kind of lens, the AI can help further the students' understanding of these kind of skills and areas.